Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, family. It is a pleasure. Welcome to the family tree. And I'm glad everybody stopped in this evening. But also remember, we are having a storm warning wherever you are. Be very careful and mindful about what's going on around you. We want to make sure that everybody's okay. All right? Everybody good? So
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure that
yeah.
we don't want to be a distraction for what's going on around you. So keep one eye on the news or something, but
Yes, yes,
also
yes.
another eye on if you're in those areas where there's more threat. I want you to be careful, okay? All right,
That's what's up. That's what's
Big
up.
B, I'm gonna slide on out here and we're gonna lower the sounds and we're gonna see how everybody is doing.
Ruth, walk carefully. Ruth is just tipping along. Don't you fall over.
All right, as we got more folks coming in, and I want to say welcome and my host, co-host with the most, that would be Bill 1L Morgan. Let's give him a
Wow.
hand, y'all.
Wow.
Let's give him a hand.
Bring us back to the main screen, my friends.
All right, all right. I'm going to bring on back to the screen here, and I want to say to
There
everyone,
we
it's
go.
a
There we
pleasure.
go.
And Big B, how you doing over there, big buddy?
Well, look, you know what? Other than the tornado that hit Mulligan Hill 5 6 miles from the house here, and the
Yeah.
rain and the heavy winds, shoot, they can't touch this. What you talking about,
Yeah,
boy?
yeah. Be careful over there. You
And you
know,
sir, listen, I can't be crazy now. Let's just be real. And,
yeah.
we're at a point where you're sensible when they say go to the basement, take your humps to the basement.
That's right. That's right. It's a whole list of things that they're telling people if you're
Yeah,
in
man.
those alleys. And these tornadoes, they drop really quick, and they can happen on
So
a
quickly.
split second. It can
Yeah.
happen. When the winds, especially with the temperature changing from cold to hot, and that boom, different misdirection causes that
Yes. Yes.
whirlwind and those funnels. Next thing you know, you got to get out of Dodge. So take it for real. God said, I have my way in the whirlwind, so we got to take this thing for real, y'all. All
Most
right.
definitely. Most
All right,
definitely.
Big B, always a pleasure to get you to start off with. Tell us what's going on in the world. Give us our numbers from COVID because we are still in a pandemic.
Yeah,
That is correct.
man, look, we're in a pandemic and a whole bunch of other stuff. You just got to keep your eyes open, family, because you know
That is
what? It's a
correct.
mess out here. Yeah, I just found out just a few moments ago that my son has contracted COVID and his daughter. So
Oh,
we're
wow.
just
Sorry to
praying for
hear
that.
that. We're
They're
going to
down
keep
in
you in
North
prayer.
Carolina. Just keep them in prayer.
Yes,
Hey,
absolutely.
look, I leave everything in Dad's hand, my friend. I learned a long time ago I can't fix nothing.
That's right. That's
You know,
right. You
he
got it. You
allowed he
got it.
allowed them here through me, so I'm just right now just pointing and hold my hands out over top of them and
Got
just
you.
cover
Got
them.
you.
You know what I mean?
That's
All right,
right.
guys, here we go from our very famous website. That's ncov2019.live. That's ncov2019.live. Our quick facts as of 3 minutes ago. Our total confirmed cases 219,192,724. Total critical cases 105,968. Total deceased 4,543,188. Total active cases 24,788,465. Total recovered. Drum roll time. Drum roll time. I got to be quiet. Wait for it. Bam, there you go. 100 guys.
All right.
94,251,243. There you
All
go.
right. All
That's our
right. Let's,
best mental
man,
health moment right there, guys.
you got to get something to keep your mind,
Yeah, buddy.
in the right state of understanding that, people are getting well from this, and the numbers show it right there. The numbers show that there's people that are getting well from this. You never see that number, Big B, and that concerns me.
Yes, yes.
194 million people have totally recovered. That means
Yes,
had it,
sir.
no longer have it. I
Yes,
think the
sir.
post, we're way past the point when, when they want to find out what some people are doing and what others are not doing. We're past the point of what's called evidence based, which
Mm-hmm.
means you got enough people to do a study to say, what are you doing that everyone else is not doing that has contracted it and not come through this?
So
What are
true.
you doing? And the comparisons can be done. I wish that, they would push this multi-million-dollar marketing piece that they're doing on fresh fruits and vegetables. How about
Man,
that? How
so
about,
true.
telling folks how to, the advertise instead of saying death on the radio and the television? How about, how about the eating right? How about the
Mm-hmm.
exercising? How about
Mm-hmm.
doing something, talk about healthier quality eating? Go here. We'll give you a coupon to get extra food for, from farms, from organic farms. We're not seeing any of that. It's almost like keeping us in a state of panic and anxiety. So, we have to continue to keep those things in understanding. That it's good to know that you can get those numbers right on that website. That's NCOV, that's NCOV 2019.live.
That's
Even
right.
though that site was established way before the time of COVID-19, the young man that set this together, 19-year-old young man, now he's probably about 22 now, 22 or 23 now, because he's actually a time when he was putting this together was for a project. But now we're not in 2019. Did y'all know that? This is
Mhm.
COVID 22 now. They already labeling it 22, COVID 22. So that means that even this thing has mutated in the point where it now has a variant that has now it's past the Delta. Now it's actually COVID 22. So it's constantly moving. So we're going to dive in today, talk about some stuff y'all want to talk about because this is your Social Security moment.
There we
How
go. There
about
we
that?
go. There we go.
We say Social Security because if there's no other place you go to, your family, your Social Security. Say it slow. You know what I say it slow, y'all. Social Security is
Social
your family.
Security.
The
That's
only
right.
real Social Security is not a check, it's your family. Did you even hear the note that they said this week? Did y'all hear it? They said it real slow. They said in 2034, there will be no more money because of the COVID-19. Did
Yes,
y'all
I
hear
heard that.
that?
Yes,
Did
I
y'all
heard that.
hear that?
I heard that.
Kamara, don't look at me with a face like that. Don't look at me like that. Yes, they actually mentioned that of 2034, there will be no more Social Security. I just told
Yes,
you that, didn't I
yes,
tell
yes.
you? They
Just
said,
yesterday
and they're blaming it on
on COVID.
the COVID-19. My question is, wait a minute, who let the cat out the bag? Who out there dipping in the funds anyway? Coming out of ain't that supposed to be secured funds?
Okay.
People, that's
Okay.
supposed to be secured, right?
Uh-huh.
Security. That's matter of fact, it's in the word Social
Security.
Security. But yes, somebody been sticking their hand in the bag. And apparently this bag is going to be done on 2034. Look it up. All you got to do is Google it. 2434 is the
Yeah,
ending
man.
time. They're letting you know right now. That's why we say the only thing you can bank on is that your Social Security is your family. Let it be your resource. Let it be your actual point where you can get the answers. We gather around the tree, just like in ancient times, we got around the tree and we talked about whatever's going on. And that's your greatest solution to your
That's
problem
true.
is probably right next to you. Got it? So I encourage you all to network with each other, talk to each other, even after we get off of here. Talk to each other. Get your numbers, email each other, text each other. Do the things that you have to do to stay linked and connected. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get started right now. And if you're looking, and if you're here for the very first time, you look right down at your bottom bar. You can see reactions. You can click up if you have a question or concern you want to ask to the family today. We'll try to get the answer asked for you. If you can't, we'll find it out for you and we'll get back to you. But right down, you can reach down to the reactions bar and put your hand up, and we'll try to answer that question. Big B over there will grab
I
you,
do my best.
or
Yes, sir.
you can also put in the chat your question. If you have a question, you can put it up in the chat room. And in the chat room, we'll try to get to you. We can't get to everybody. I want to tell you right now, sometimes it gets overflowing, but we'll try our best, okay? All right. So even if you're someone that is dialing in this evening, and you're by phone, let us know and we'll try to reach you, or just let us know and we'll try to make it known that we'll get to your question, okay? All right, family, we're going to get started. Big B, you got something over there first?
I got one here from Cinnamon. It says, I have a male friend who's got the Moderna shot 2 weeks ago and recently noticed as he goes to the bathroom for a number two, there's slight blood and mucus. Is that a side to worry? And what does it mean?
Well, blood and mucus in the bowel. When he said, "What is he?
Hmm.
What is?
Yes.
Read that to me one more time. Read it
Okay,
one more
I
time."
have a male friend who's got the Moderna shot 2 weeks ago and recently noticed as he goes to the bathroom for number two, there's slight blood and mucus. Is that sign of worry? And what could that mean?
He's talking about in the bowel. Is that what you're
In the
saying?
bowel, yes. Uh huh.
Okay, all right. So yes, it can be a lot of signs of a lot of different things. He would definitely need an assessment. Usually, whenever you see blood in the stool, there could be a couple of things that we start with. We say not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. We try to, you know, make sure the person number one is hydrated properly. Usually, whenever there's issues with something in the intestines, and you start to see blood, the first thing people think is colon or rectal cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's sometimes we default first on a few things. Number one, hemorrhoids. Got it? Hemorrhoids. The color of the blood means something also. If it's dark blood, okay, dark blood or bright color blood, those are the two things you want to find out first. That's the two questions I would ask first. If it's bright blood, that usually comes from immediate bleeding. So that means that something like a hemorrhoid,
Mm-hmm.
and if there is hemorrhoids, there's external and there's internal. Some people say, oh, I don't have them, but they don't know that they have internal hemorrhoids. Got it? The way you would know that you would have internal hemorrhoids would be to look at the bowel. If the bowels comes out and it's very stringy, anybody have stringy bowels? When it comes out, look like little strings, look like spaghetti type string type stuff. That usually means internal hemorrhoids. That's what it means. Got it? Now, if for whatever reason you've gone past that and said, no, you don't have hemorrhoids, you've determined that. And if you're looking at the blood, still, we look for the color. Is it bright or is it dark? If it's dark color blood, that usually means that's probably a polyp or something that's releasing. Sometimes you'll get a polyp in the system and that blood gets dry. And when it gets dried up, it turns dark. So that's old blood. Yeah, it's been sitting there a while. And then that's when it flushes out, it finally comes out. It's actually a dark color. Got it? So that's what we look at for as like checkpoints first before we skip to the equation that goes directly towards what people really start to look at cancer and things like that. But also I would go into dietary questions for the person. Are you a meat eater? Are you a heavy meat eater? How's your water? Things like that. So there's a line of assessment probing that we would have to do. Okay? All right. Anyone else? Anyone else on that?
Okay, there's one more says, Dr. Paul, my daughter had to take the jab for college. Any recommendations for her? She's young and healthy for the most part. However, she is tired a lot and don't have any appetite, but she's also vegetarian. Should she worry, I guess?
Yeah, I wish you got to it. You don't have to take the jab, y'all. I keep telling you, you don't have to take the jab. If you declare, there's two exemptions. There's medical exemption, and then there's also religious exemption. They're not promoting it because they want you to take the jab. But if you have a strong religious conviction, you don't have to take the jab. You can actually be exempt or opt out. But then when you declare your position, you have to declare your position. You present them with a document. And it does not have to be signed by any specific person or anything. It just has to be signed by you and usually notarized. And you basically submit that document. And then they'll have a form for you to fill out. And then that means, why do they have a form? Because they know that people have religious exemptions. Got it? It's against your religious rights as far as religious exemptions or medical exemptions. So they know that the people are going to be exception to the rule. So that's what it is in place. It's part of what's called the Sanitary Act, which is part of the United Nations Sanitary Act. Anyone connected to the UN, you have the rights of refusal for any medical procedure. People don't declare their position, nor do they promote it, because they want everyone to be vaccinated, because it makes the institution, the job, or whatever, it makes it look like, hey, we're in cooperation or we're in compliance. But really, that doesn't work for everyone and the indigenous people who have a religious exemption, which means that they don't believe in breaking the skin. You break the skin or you cause anything to defile the temple, you break the skin, it increases the chances for infection. Got it? That's the key. So that's what the whole purpose of the Sanitary Act was, is that the indigenous people were being were being isolated on the floor of the UN. They weren't being properly recognized. So the indigenous people were in places in different countries around the world, and they were being discriminated against. So they said, well, we're going to have to come up with something. Sanitary Act. Got it? Anyone connected to that, it is in operation, but they do not want you to know it, of course, because, again, it's about marketing and promotion. Got it? So what can she do in the meantime? I tell everyone, whether you had it or don't have it, we're in a time where you're dealing with variants that are increasing every day. Make sure you keep, your blood clean. That's the whole purpose of what we talk about. Clean the blood. Clean the blood, you clean the entire body. Okay, everybody mute up, mute up, mute up. Unless you have a question, mute up, okay? Make sure that whatever you have, clean the blood. This is not a lung. It's an effects of the lungs. It's an effects of clotting. It's an effects of myocarditis, which is the heart issues. It's an effect of things like Guillain-Barré and things like that. So there's effects that they're having that are the side effects of it. But the real issue is cleaning the blood. That's why we talked about the top 80 plus that I actually released about the 80 different herbs that you can have. If you have not, if you joined us for the first time, go to the website, Dr. Paul Herbs with a S.com, download, go right to where it says,
what about somebody with scleroderma?
It actually says, hey, no, mute yourself, guys. Go to where it says download. Once you download, then you can see on there top toxic food list, but also the top blood cleansers list. Got it? All right. Big B, I don't think we can see that list, but it's real.
I know that's because I'm fuzzy behind me. Okay,
yeah. You got that app. You got that special app. Yeah,
I got the app. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yes, Rosemary. Rosemary has that in the
Okay,
back.
there you go, Rose. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rosemary.
Right. And maybe I can bring it up if you have not seen this already. But a lot of people have taken advantage of that. And remember, the key is keeping the blood clean. Just as we're taking it is based on biblical principles. It's a spiritual concept. Clean the body. To know the body, you keep the temple clean. Know not that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. You got to keep this thing clean. You remember I told y'all about the prophets who actually used to have to clean themselves before they could even get a revelation. They had to go clean their bodies because the angel said, I can't even give it to you because you're too dirty.
Well,
you got to wait. I gotta wait till you clean up for 14 days and then come on back and then maybe we'll talk. Maybe we'll talk. Maybe we'll talk.
Yes.
So what does it mean? You gotta keep the system clean. All right. So hopefully everyone's doing something right now. Remember, we're making that U-turn. The sun is falling. So now we're going into the fall. This is the worst time right now. Numbers are skyrocketing right now. Because people's immune systems are going down. Increase your vitamin D. I'm going to go over a couple of things that I think that are checkpoints today that you definitely want to make sure that you grab the proper things and get it now. I'm going to tell y'all, get it now. There's some strange things happening right now with shipments and things being backed up. And now they're telling, it's a lot of things that are going on with the farmers right now. So I want to go into that a little bit. But I want you to just make sure you stock up, all right? Stock up. We had that whole thing that I gave y'all that last time. Remember that I gave y'all the survival kit stuff?
Yeah.
Got to be careful, y'all. Be careful, all right? Okay.
But Doc, just to inject, you said do not take the jab. What is a jab?
The shot.
Oh, the shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
They gave it a whole lot of different names.
Okay, they got so many different names. Okay.
Yeah, the jab, the shot, the hokey pokey, whatever you want to call it.
you know something, Dr. Paul, was very interesting using that term jab. There's an article here in Natural Health that talks about how even Pfizer does not mandate for their own employees to get the jab.
Hey, let me tell you, did you know that the head of Pfizer, the actual head of Pfizer, did not get the vaccine?
I heard that.
Okay, y'all.
Come on, y'all.
Bill, can you post where you got that?
Sure. I'm looking at it right now. I'll copy and put it in.
Hey, you got to stop right there before anybody take it and say, oh, wait a minute. The guy that's up there talking about get it is the head of Pfizer.
Won't even get it himself.
Won't even get it himself. All right, family. I'm just telling you, you got to stay alert. Stay
there
alert.
It is right there, guys.
You got to stay awake, stay alert. Make sure we stay on
Some
there.
companies using the term that you'll have to prove your exemption. Are they just trying to play mind games with us?
You don't have to prove anything. Really, you're just saying there is no proving with your religious exemption. If you prove that your religious exemption is what you believe in, if you don't believe in it, doesn't have to have a history or record of it. You just have to be very defined on what you declare, your position. That's it. You can't really
Very simple.
You can't really prove someone's religion or their faith. That's their personal. The way of their life. Some people have changed religion. Some people that weren't religious are now. So they say, oh, well, you had them since you were little. Yeah, but that don't mean nothing about right now. I'm declaring my position. Got it? So don't let nobody fake you out with that. It's if you declare your position, that's your personal right as a human being on this planet. Remember? All right, keep that in mind. All right. All right, I'm going to go to our line here. I'm going to reach up and grab our first person that I have here. I got Troy on the line. Troy?
Good evening, Doc. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, Troy. How you doing over there?
I can't complain at all. Can't complain at all.
Okay, I hope you're safe over there. Everybody's safe, right? I might have to do a spot check. So everybody
I know that's right.
On the line. All right. 5-second break. Everybody look out the window. Everything cool?
Yeah.
10-second break.
I'm not upside down, so I guess I'm all right.
Roof still on your house? Yo, you got to check, all right?
Well.
Okay, go ahead, Troy.
Quick question. I had came for an assessment about sometime back in June, and you had only told me to take the green drink twice a day and also some burdock root. Well, I happened to get on the bandwagon taking this Black Sea Bitters tonic, which has a whole slew of herbs in it, and I kind of like it. Not the taste, but obviously the benefits. And it has burdock root in it. So my question is, do I stop taking the additional burdock root for pill form and use the Black Sea Bitters? And also, can I put it in my green drink? Because this stuff is horrible taking straight.
What's that? The Black Sea Bitters?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And yes, you can put that added piece in there. Just make sure you increase your water. Got it? So yes, you can. Some people will do, add the Black Seed Bitter to the green drink. That's fine, along with what you're already taking with the black seed or the burdock root, you were saying is in there. Just make sure you get a lot of water. See, whenever burdock root or any liver cleanser, anything, period, it's going to demand a lot of water. So that's what anytime we look at blood cleansers, it's always going to say you need water because it's going to try to bind to bacteria, virus, fungus, sepsis, parasites, anything that's going on. And then in the second move is that I bind to it. Now you need to flush me out. So just as long as you're doing plenty of water, that's usually the key. The signs that you really are taking too much of something and is getting past the point where the body says, I can't process, it usually starts with a little small headache or usually nauseousness. That means you're dehydrated. You got it?
Okay. Right. So should I take more than you're not going to take half the ounces in body with the water, so take more than that? Or if you need to, that should be your baseline. Your baseline should be half your body weight in ounces. If you believe that you're trying to do an additional cleanse with stepping it up a little bit, then you would add more water. That's correct. Okay, gotcha.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it, sir.
All right. Who else I have up here? I have Helen. Helen, how you doing, Helen?
How you doing, Dr. Paul?
All
how you
right.
doing, Bill? How's everybody doing tonight?
Just fine.
Good.
So I have a couple questions, but the first ones are in regards to tropical fruit. Now, there are several different fruits like dragon fruit, and because I just want to know which ones I need to stay away from, because, there's like hybrids and so forth, star fruit, passion fruit, custard apple, black sapote.
Well, everything that you're mentioning, just to make sure it's in its natural form. Yeah, they're all good. Yeah, okay. The dragon fruit is one of my favorites. I love dragon fruit. Yeah.
Whether it's yellow or if it's red, it's good.
Yeah, the yellow is actually a little bit, I believe, more sweet. It's a little sweeter. There's purple internal. There's white also inside. So the little tile, small seeds. Only thing you got to be careful with is if you are someone who has things like diverticulitis or issues with, sports. Diverticulitis is like little pockets in the lining of the intestines, or the colon. And what happens is the little seeds can get trapped in there. So usually you watch the kiwi, watch the ones like the strawberries, things like that, because it can get trapped in there and it can cause a problem. So that's really my only concern. Most of these are autonomous, but they basically mean that they can stand on their own. You don't need to mix them. I would be strongly against mixing them because they are all masters. You got me? They are all masters. Everything you just mentioned are very strong masters. They've been around a long time. If you mix too many of those together, you can get symptoms that means that it races your system too fast. Got it? You only need one. Remember, fruit does what? Fruit does what? Stimulates. Got it?
Energy, gives you a lot of energy.
You got it. So watch taking things like that in the evening. Don't do it in the evening or you ain't never going to bed. You ain't never going to bed. Especially like a dragon fruit. Don't get a dragon fruit in the evening. Oh my goodness. You'll never calm down because it's saying, oh, well, I guess you want me to do something. Stay awake. So I'm going to stay awake. Remember, what is it? Fruit stimulates, vegetables what? Stabilize. Got it?
Okay. Okay. So my next comment actually, or just asking you a question is in regards to the COVID virus. Now, if you were to like basically think about it when it first started, like last year, how long you think we're going to be in this pandemic? You think next year, maybe around about this time, or
I tell you, if people don't, well, you know what? There's a lot of things that are out and a lot of conspiracy theories and things. I tell people don't get trapped into it.
Yes.
You got to look at the Spanish flu. A lot of people did not realize, but the Spanish flu, majority of that happened naturally, that it dissipated naturally. It takes its course, but people, when it starts to now shut down, it's going to happen as natural flow. But people have to be living right. You got to be eating right. The food is altered. There's a lot of things that weren't happening in that time that are happening right now that really is a problem. And a lot has to do with the food and the alteration of the food and industrialization of the food. So people don't have real food anymore. Back then, you had a real grapes. You had grapes with seeds. You also had apples with seeds. You had watermelon with seeds. You had food that was at least food. But now we got a problem. So when it's time to regenerate the body can't regenerate because you don't have any real fuel to go with it to fight these things. That's why you got to step out the line and do things like the herbs. That's why you can't modify all these herbs. There's millions of herbs, and they can't modify everyone, but they can, alter the food, which is the resources that are at your local stores and things like that. So that's why it's important to get the real food so you can raise the alkalinity, the energy of the body. We are bioelectrical beings, but we're not getting any bioelectrical feed to keep this thing charged up because the food has no bioelectrical charge anymore. Doesn't that make sense? That's like putting dead batteries in your remote control expecting it to work. And that ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
So that'll be like 2 years now. I mean, so we're thinking about maybe 3 years. Only God knows, though. How long is long.
Right. Only God tell that people have to start to get back on point to what their health is really going on. You have to raise that charge yourself. You can still do it. But you have to be starting to. Number one thing people can do is start taking their pH. That's it. If you start taking your pH, you know exactly that you're in the right resonating. You're resonating at the right frequency. You got it? That's why I keep telling y'all, you got to grab those pH strips. Grab those pH strips. Stay on those pH strips. Know where they are. Know where you are at all time, and don't break the rules. Because therefore you're not guessing anymore. Got it? So if you
last question for you is you know, basically what you're saying, your immune system, keeping it up and keeping up your pH.
Where
Now,
do
like
we
if I
get 'em?
start out like in the morning and I start out taking my garlic, my beta carotene, my D3 and all the, good stuff you're saying to take. How do I know when, like when it goes down and starts to decrease?
That's why taking the pH. That's exactly my point.
Okay.
You got it? You got to take your
Right.
pH. You got to take it. That's the only way you're going to know that you're in the right resonance. Okay? Because remember, when you fall below 6.5, you're in a state of acid. That means you're tearing down. You're going the wrong way. So
So
that's
when I
why
do that, that means I need to start taking more vitamins again, right?
not vitamins, phytonutrient energy, land and sea. That's what the green
Okay.
drink is about. Got it?
Okay.
Got
Okay.
it? Hydrogen. Hydrogen is the greatest source of energy in the universe is hydrogen. That's where pH comes from, the potential for hydrogen. So when we're looking for that hydrogen level, we're looking to see what is your greatest potential to either lose or gain energy. And that's what pH represents. So that's why we're trying to keep that pH right in that zone. If you stay in that zone, you're good to go. All right?
Thank you so much, Dr. Paul.
Okay,
God
always
bless.
a pleasure, Helen. Always a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Hey,
Bill.
Dr.
All
Paul.
right, always.
All right.
How you doing,
Somebody-
Dr. Paul?
Who is that? That
That
sounds
sound
like
like
Brother
Farouk.
Farouk. That sounds
Sound like
like
Brother
Brother
Farouk.
Farouk. There he
Yes.
is. He's by phone, so we're gonna take you, man. What you doing, brother? How you been?
I've been good. Just scheduled a new appointment with you.
Okay.
And yeah. And I wanted to find out about how can you identify chicken, the organic chicken, whether it says vegetarian fed in the stores, but
Mhm.
then you look it up online and it says like corn. I know you said something about corn being modified and broken down and all this stuff, but how do you identify chicken being grass fed? That's one of my questions.
Range
And
free.
does it-
Range free. Yeah, range free. Range free if you're talking about chicken, range free. That's the key word. Range free just means
Range.
that they're not cooped up. That
Okay.
really doesn't mean anything either. Because if they're giving them corn, I told you about the corn.
Yeah, right. Yes, yes.
The corn is just as bad. So that's again dealing with the high fructose corn syrups and all the other stuff. The corn, all this stuff is corn. Everywhere around it's just corn. So yes, range free, and through chicken feed, not something like corn. That's the problem. So it would be range free is what you're really looking for. And this means they're not cooped up. So that means that, some of the chickens, they keep them in the coop and they won't move out. They can't go outside. This just means that, I can go outside if I want to. I might, it's raining. I'll stay in today. It's basically has free range. He can go anywhere he wants. That's the only difference.
Right. And then so that's a better option. And then what about when it comes to
that is your only option right now that I would recommend. If it's
and
if you
then
got
what
it, yeah.
And then what about the eggs? The same thing?
Same thing. Yeah, you have cage free. Yeah, or you got cage free or what they call range free eggs. That's correct. Eggland's
And
best.
what about duck?
Duck?
Yeah.
Did you say duck as DUCK?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like duck eggs, you mean?
Yeah, I eat them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's look at duck eggs. All right. Now, duck eggs, remember, the duck, not eating the duck, but the duck eggs, still falling in that line. You're not supposed to eat the duck. That falls into, if you're following biblical principle, anything, the duck actually falls on that line where you're not supposed to eat. But if you do the eggs, yes, you will see it on the acid alkaline food chart of where it is. And remember, the whole thing goes with process. Whatever you're doing, it's the process. Got it? You got to be cage free. You can't have them cooped up. Can't giving them all these antibiotics and all that stuff. That's what you got to read. They are putting some of that stuff on there though.
Yes.
But people aren't reading. So you got some homework to do, especially if you like duck eggs.
Right. And then I also wanted to get some I was just looking into your stuff, man. It's amazing. But I'm not gonna be too long. I just wanted to also bring it across the board, for Organo, and then I'm gonna drop out.
Okay. Sure. You want to give him
So I guess-
you want to give him your contact information or how they now tell them first what you're asking about, what you're
Well,
you're telling
yeah.
them about.
Well, well, for those that are listening, I understand there's a lot of people on here. I'm a distributor for Organo Gold. Organo Gold is the company. Number one, it's a global network marketing company which deals with Organoderma products and also all natural products for skincare and coffee and tea, hot chocolate, and different beverages that are infused with Organoderma. But the Organoderma is another insight of alkalinity and good for your brain and your heart and everything. It's just alternative health, So
Okay.
And they're basically I have all the information anyone needs, so I could just shoot it out and those that want to need it. Y'all can just give him. Y'all can just give me a call. And I can just give it to you like that.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best way because Big B can actually take that number down and put it in our chat box. Give them your number so they can call you.
Yeah. All right. My number is 267 461 6091, and I'm free anytime.
All righty.
Okay.
All right, brother.
And of course, you can put my name down there as Brother Faruq.
All right, brother Farouk. All right, let's give him a hand, y'all. That's right. Support the brother. He's doing some great things over there.
All right, I'll get it in there, Farouk. You got it, buddy.
You're looking for that Organo Gold. I always say it's a good alternative for those who are hooked on coffee. If you got to hit that coffee, the Organoderma is the alternative that we recommend. All right. Okay. All right. Big B, you got anybody over there on that side?
Well, you know what? There's one here. Hold on one second. I was just looking at it. My medical director of occupational health told me that I have no chances of fighting off or against COVID-19 without getting the vaccine. So I asked him, do we, hold on one second. Does he believe in a higher power because God gives us our immunity and healing, and that my immune system will be boosted by the good fruits, vegetables, vitamins, and minerals that I put into my body? He said the jab will boost my immunity.
No, it
he
doesn't.
did not deny any medical exemptions, and now I am waiting to hear back. Oh, he did deny my medical exemptions, and now I'm waiting to hear back about my religious exemptions. He said he wants 100% of the workers to be fully vaccinated.
Yeah, but that's because she didn't come strong with her declaration. You got it? That's what's going to happen. See, already he's going to deny it because she didn't step with the proper declaration. You declare your situation. If your religious exemption, God said, put me first. That's what he said. Put me first. In everything you do, put me first. And if you have a strong, I don't know where her spirituality is, but, that's really where it stands. If you believe in keeping your temple clean and, you're going to have people who are not for, or we say not looking at from a spiritual standpoint the way most of us do. When she stepped to him and said, I believe in God and doing that, she should have followed through with that, because you're not going to get the support from someone who is not a believer that this is what you're, convinced at. So you declare it with a document first. And that document is called a declaration. And a declaration does back you all the way up to the UN. But like I said, see, you can be right but not correct. Think about that for 2 seconds. You can be right but not correct. She's right because that's her point of view, but she didn't do it correctly with following through with the point. So you have to be both right and correct. So there is definitely something I would recommend going to that website, the Vaccination Liberation website. Get more informed, get more of your knowledge base up, talking points, and also how to prepare that document properly.
I think that was Talia.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't deny my religious exemption. He denied my medical exemption.
Right, because the medical has to be backed by a doctor. That's correct.
It was backed by a doctor.
Well, it depends. Apparently it wasn't, because if he says that it was. See, they have a right to
Saying
shoot
you
it
want me to
down.
go to an ologist instead of a
Right. See, they
doctor.
can. That's why we say religious exemption is your option, because you can always bounce it around with medical, and that's going to be very tricky. You got to really prove that this is going to cause some kind of harm to your body. And if that document is not strong enough on the medical side, they're going to deny it every time. Got it? So that's
Well,
why
it did when
religious.
I got vaccinated with the flu years ago. It did cause harm to my body, and that's why my
Yeah.
doctor does
Yeah,
not
but
want me to be vaccinated.
I understand that. I understand your point. Again, you're right. You're right. You're very much right. But being correct
And I
with
saw an
them,
ologist, so
right? But see, the burden of proof lies still on you to prove that. You got it? You don't have to prove the fact that I believe in God and I believe that this temple is clean and it has to stay clean. I don't have to believe. I don't have to prove that. You got it? I'm standing on the right and understanding that the temple is a holy and sanctified body. Got it? But when you're standing there and you're saying that this thing caused this problem and I got to prove that, the burden of proof is on you. And
right.
even doctors are not going to, they're going to shoot down doctors every time, because it's about marketing. It's about advertisement. They want everybody to be able to say at their organization, hey, everybody's here been vaccinated, but that may not be going against your religious or spiritual beliefs. So that's why, we say religious exemption is really the route to go, if that's your understanding, your faith. Got it? I would go to that website to get more information. You know where that website is? Big B, you can put that up there for them.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And it's actually right. Let me see if I can grab it real quick to get the talking points. And this is, again, remember, this is for those who choose to do this. I'm sure there's people that are here that they may be for the vaccine. That's okay, whatever your choice is. But this conversation is for those who choose not to and need to know what your rights are. Got it? And what you have the right to do that are not being promoted to you. So that's what we're going at right now. Big B, I want you to just punch that up. VACLIB.org. Got it? That's the website. VACLIB.org.
Yeah, I have it. I've got it in there now.
All right. Now, there is a specific link I want you to also. There is a specific exemption page. So it's vaclib.org/exemption. That's the one. Got it. /exemption. EXEMPTION.htm. Got it. And that's where you can get all the different ones from all, matter of fact, when you go through that, hold up. Y'all want me to pull this up? Hold up. Let me pull this up. Y'all still there? Am I?
Yeah, we're still here.
Yes.
Everybody got
One of the other things too, Dr. Paul, let me share this.
Is this mic on? Is this mic on?
Intently listening.
Y'all intensely listening,
Yes.
I got you. I mean, that's what it's about.
Guys, what you have, and also, Dr. Paul, let me remind them that they have to actually look for the one for your particular area, because some of them.
I'm gonna pull this up, and I think this is a better way of doing it, so that I can show folks where you can go and you can see the different things that you have, and it's good for information, right? You got to know both sides of everything. The concern is when you don't have the ability to look at both sides and just take it because I'm telling you to take it. That's not good enough. That's not going to work, because everything you do in life, you do it with both sides, right?
Yes,
You're taught
yes.
to do this in school, right?
Yep.
When you're taking a test, if you're buying clothes, ladies, y'all know about this, right? Does it fit? How does it make me look? I don't know. This might look, you got the right and the left of everything. But when you don't have the right to left, that's like saying, "Here, girl, throw these on. You gonna buy these clothes." You gonna buy these clothes, and they may or may not fit. So the same thing with the sandwich. You want to know what's on your sandwich. You want to know what car to buy, what home to buy. You got to do this. You got to do the comparison. But when you don't have the ability to do comparison, that's concerning. That's very concerning. So here's the website I'm going to share right now. I'm going to share my screen so you can see this. And hopefully everyone can see this. I'm going to flip over here. Share the screen. Boom. All right, let me know when you can see it, okay?
Yeah. There it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay, so here is the website right here, vaclib.org/exemption.htm. Got it? All right, and when you go to
I
that
scroll down that
page,
page, Dr. Paul, so they see exactly where.
yep. So what you want to do is you can see exemption by pages by state.
By state, yes.
These are by state. If you have a person that you want to send this to that's from a different location, you can also go in for giving you your choice, legal notice. It goes into school vaccination requirements, exemption and forms, also patient, employees, and students. It goes into travel without mask or quarantine, law documents, to get you
Whatever your
everything.
particular situation is.
Whatever your situation is, this is your resource site. I would definitely say for anyone, as you can see, as it goes down, it goes as far as everything you can imagine, experimental vaccine. It goes down to details. Got it? So I would recommend you go to this website. It has a long list of information. Now, I'm going to tell you how this site was established. I followed this site for years, many, many years. I followed this site because this site was actually a part of back in the day, you know, when in 1996 they actually. Am I back yet?
Back.
Back
Yep.
yet? Okay,
Yep.
got it. All right. This was a site that was established by women who had children that were injured by vaccines. That's it. These were women. This is women. Women established this website. And this was women who actually took the medical industry to court and they actually won. How about that? So with that, they started saying, well, you know, if these are the people that won, you know, in 1996, the federal government gave sort of the pharmaceuticals a sort of a bypass to say you can no longer sue the pharmaceutical industry for any vaccine injury. So that's usually where this site comes from. It's from those who had, you know, pre 1996 to post, you know, to present. Mm-hmm. So they will give you the support. You can go and email, get on their email list. They can also give you a support group. They will help you with the language if you're dealing with a specific situation, or you may have a young person that's going, or a person that's working at a job or something that has to go through something. It'll help you and lead you in the right direction. Okay. So I would say utilize it as a resources, but remember, you can also always bank on the fact that you can build your immune system. Got it? I can't say it enough. That's the way you protect yourself. Got it? All right, family. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we're gonna go up to Cliff. We got Cliff on the house. Cliff, how you doing there, buddy?
Good, sir. Just want to follow up. Last week you was talking about the exemption, and I got my religious exemption. And one of the things that you helped me with, because I emailed you, and it made me kind of realize that if I stand up for this, I'm gonna have to make a sacrifice.
Yes, sir.
And because I was about to doing a job last week, and I got it all notarized and everything. And the thing about it, I didn't get asked about it. So I told him I didn't get the vaccine, and basically I didn't get any flack behind it. But I was willing to, you know, stand up for what I felt like you mentioned last week. You was talking about.
Yeah, good question. Yep.
The other two things I'll bring up as I'm going through this process and seeing how the media is distorting some of the things that's going on. Now,
mute yourself, y'all.
Mute yourself, guys.
Now, you talked about ivermectin, you know, which is anti-parasite. Mm-hmm. Well, what happened is an article that came out this week where a judge ordered the hospital to give their patient ivermectin. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, ABC, it was yesterday, came out and said that ivermectin was a warning against it, that it's given to horses. And they were saying, like, taking it every day. Well, you don't take it every day. You take it every 14 days, based on what was told me. And how they distorted that. And the other thing that I found out was that reading through this other website, the doctor was telling me where the FDA approved vaccine from Pfizer is not the same one that they're giving out now.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, Cliff. That's a very important point. You know what? When they're telling, and this is very important, and again, discouraging, and also concerning at the same time. When they say that it's been approved, it has not been approved. That's not correct. what they're saying that has been approved has not come out yet. That's deep. That means it hasn't come out. Am I right, Cliff? Are you right on that? Yes.
Yep,
It has not come out yet. What they're giving you right now, they're saying and they're promoting that it's actually a vaccine or whatever it is. It's actually what you're getting. It's approved. It's not approved. And I think they sort of caught that. That's why you don't see as much of the promotion as much as they started off with. They just sort of toned it down a little bit because a lot of doctors started coming out saying this. This is coming. This is actually out there. All you got to do is Google this. But you know what? I wouldn't Google. I wouldn't Google.
Well, it's on there, Doc. But the problem is,
I know it's on there, but I would DuckDuckGo it.
Yeah.
You know, with DuckDuckGo it. Go to DuckDuckGo, and you gotta watch everything you're searching now. Go to DuckDuckGo. Y'all remember I gave y'all that website? That's the search engine.
The search engine, yes.
Search engine. Yep.
Okay.
Either it's DuckDuckGo or StartPage.com. That's the one. Those are the ones, the search engines that you would use.
all right, startpage.com.
StartPage.com, or those are the private search engines that you go to. Got it? Because there's
DUCK?
Yes.
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
That's correct.
Yes.
Use that as your search engine. If you wanted to maintain your privacy about everything that you are searching for, that is your website. Got it? That's
What's the other website?
StartPage.
Startpage.com.
StartPage.com.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the form. But Cliff, you bring up some very interesting points there, buddy. You know, and yes, it is true. What you're saying is absolutely spot on. But people don't read.
Yeah.
And they know that people do not read. They say you wanna hide some money, put it in a book.
Yeah. Amen. Never find it.
They'll never find. You got it. So spot on, Cliff.
Thank you. Yeah, because what happened, I looked it up. The Comirnaty, Comirnaty. That's the one they approved.
Yes.
But if you if you look at it Google, it'll say Pfizer and both of them. It'll mix them together, like you said. They're distorted. You know,
it's very distorted, and it has not been released yet. They basically has not released it. They basically gave a pre-approval for something that has never been released yet.
Yep. And one of the other things I'm learning is that liability coverage, where the current BioNTech is not under liability coverage, but this one coming out, because if it's approved by the FDA, you get a side effect, you can sue for it. Right. Well, they try to find ways to.
They're trying to work it before I throw it out there.
Man, and I really appreciate you, man. You really opened us up to some stuff that's really important to us. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, Cliff. But you know what, family? This is why I always mention to you, I don't want to go down those dark rabbit holes. It's good to be informed and be up to date on it, but it still takes your eyes off Daddy, and that's the problem.
Yes.
You know, when we talk about Peter in the boat, you know, and basically Jesus said, "Come on out here," you know, and he started walking on the water, and he was doing fine. All of a sudden, he started looking at the waves. Well, the waves represent the media, the resources, people into jobs, all stuff, and then next thing you know, he started sinking. He got compared and started having anxiety and thinking he wasn't doing right. And he told him the whole time, "Keep your eyes on me. Keep your eyes on me." And therefore, he stayed, and then he could move forward. But you got to keep your eyes on Daddy. That's why when we do these things and you see all this stuff, it can be taking you off the point of what are you doing right now? Are you still eating right? Are you watching what you are eating? What are you taking care of? God said, "I'll take care of you, but you got to keep your eyes on me." Got it? That's the only reason why I don't go down those holes and I don't give it too much energy, because whatever you get energy to, it draws it to you. Got it? So negativity works like that. Whatever you put out positive, you got to start waking up in the morning saying, you know what, today's going to be a good day. Not even a good day. It's going to be a great day.
Yes.
That's what I used to tell my son.
Shoot yourself, Galaxy. There you go. Thank you.
I used to tell my son, you know, the greatest moment of inspiration happened to me when I met Tiger Woods' father. And I had spent a whole weekend with him. And he told me, he says, I told my son, I said, "What makes Tiger great?" He said, "Tiger is great because as soon as he was born, at the age where he would understand the words that were coming out of my mouth, I told him, you can't be good, you can't be average, you can't even be great. You got to be awesome." You got it? So you got to be able to be your own inspiration for what you're doing. Nobody's going to be more inspired than you. So map out your day. This is how it's going to go. I'm going to exercise this day. I'm finally going to lose this weight. I'm finally going to eat right. I'm going to kick this diabetes. I'm going to kick this blood pressure. I'm going to get off of this stuff. You got to start putting it in the universe first before you expect the results that you're looking for. All right, family? All right, thank you, Cliff. You done started something, bro.
It's a
Thank
good
you
thing.
so much. I
It's a good
appreciate
thing.
you, brother. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, Big B, you got somebody on that side.
I know someone was still talking about the jab. I guess they're trying to figure out what that jab thing still is.
What the jab is? Somebody need to know.
Yes. Trying to figure out what that
Y'all
jab
don't know
thing
what the
is.
jab is? The jab, the hokey pokey. What else? What else? They got a whole lot of names for it.
It's called a shot. It's a shot.
Yes, the shit.
Pfizer, Moderna. It's
Any
called
of them. Any of them.
J&J,
Any of them.
All of
It's
them.
like getting jabbed with a pen or pencil. It's a jab.
influenza.
All of them. The jab. The jab.
A shot.
Yes,
Yep,
it's
that's
just
what
a
it
shot.
is. That's what it represents. Got it?
Okay.
All right.
And
Okay.
by the way, someone was raising the question about, I guess it was a concern. There was that article some time ago about the, I guess, arsenic in the water that had nothing to do with our crystal geyser water. It had something to do with the waste. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. If you saw that article, it came out actually almost 3 years ago.
Yes.
Crystal Geyser is a company that has a subsidiary company that does sparkling water.
Right.
Which actually now you create a waste. And the waste disposal is what got flagged. They got caught for illegally disposing it in the wrong place. Not doing what they were supposed to be doing. They were supposed to be getting rid of it, but it was in the wrong place. And that's when they corrected the problem. They paid the fine. It got taken care of. It specifically says in the lawsuit has nothing to do with the water, because this is actually something with waste disposal. So I actually did that. I actually put out a press on that. Almost 3 years ago, Big B, we did that one. So yes, those articles, and that does mean the water is still good. Remember, the water is coming from several different places. So it's coming from, if you're on the East Coast, the Adirondack Mountains in New York. If you're down south, the Blue Ridge Mountains. If it's coming out the west, that's the Mount Shasta, Mount Sierra. Also the protected Native American lands where there is no industry at all. That's why Crystal Guy is hard to beat right now, y'all. That's why it's hard. Remember, any water that's spring water, bottle at the source. Got it? So keep that in mind. All right. Let's see what else we have here. I'm going to go up to Dolly and Cynthia. Y'all up there? Hey, Dolly. Hey, Cynthia.
I just had to unmute. How are you, Dr. Bill?
Just fine. Just
Bill.
fine. Dr. Bill, go ahead.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Y'all. Look out now.
I'm advanced, All is well here. All is well.
Right, that's right.
Yes.
But Doc, I want to know on a typical day, what do you eat? You might have mentioned it, but I just want to know breakfast.
Yeah, I've mentioned it several times. I've mentioned it several times.
I didn't miss it. I missed
my foundation is my green drink. That's what keeps me going. And the reason why I do that, because I know that the food does not have its nutrients. We know we're living in a time. So that's my foundation, my green drink. Everything else comes above that. I don't eat meat. I do eat fish. Okay, I am a pescatarian. So okay. I adhere to what's called a Essene diet. Essene. Anybody know what the Essene?
How do you spell that, Doc?
Essene. Right. Essene are the Essenes, were basically those that partake in the Bible times. This is actually where they have a dietary law of fruits, nuts, berries, seeds, and a little bit of course,
the legumes.
Fish.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Legumes also, yes. Legumes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The legumes. Yeah, the legumes.
Legumes or whatever. I said legumes. It's legume.
The legumes, boy. I love them legumes.
My bad.
All right. So yes, those are the things. So vegetables, fruits, got it. Mm-hmm. Beans, nuts, sprouts, all those things that are life-giving, and a little bit of fish. Got it? So that's my dietary. So I do a lot of stir fries. And that uses and I gave out example of some of the stir fries that I do. I'll do brown. I try not to do as much brown rice as I do black rice or wild rice, multigrain, quinoa, lentils. Those are my base for a lot of things. Also, any of those as a base with fresh vegetables, stir fries, flash fry we call, and that along with fish is usually what my diet usually is.
And it's between like 3 or 4 hours. You eat every 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah,
You eat.
I try not to miss a time frame. Usually that's why I have the green drink 3 times a day. That's usually that's what I try to do. So if I'm actually at work, I'll get one, at least 2 a day is right now where I am. Because, usually if you're doing the green drink on a regular time, if your pH is off, then you're going to have to make those adjustments, usually at least twice a day. So before I go to work, and usually in the late afternoon, evening, if I need another green drink, I'll do it then. I always recommend folks when they want to balance themselves off, do it 3 times a day, but I do it at least twice a day. So breakfast and usually my last meal, which is the dinner time, is usually when I have my greens.
Oh, okay. All right. And one other question, the stem enhance that supports the natural release of adult stem cells. What do you think about that? The stem cells.
Well, stem cells, remember what stem means. Stem means root. That's what it means. So whenever there's stem cells, they're trying to take stem cells from one part of your body to add to another part of your body. But already it's kind of like backwards, So some people will use this therapy and it's worked well for them. There is a therapy where they'll take stem cells from one part of your body, inject it into your knees, things like that. I'm not saying it's not bad, but something else is out of balance. It's only temporary fix. You're going to probably have to do that again. Something else is not working properly. If you got a knee problem and you got to get knee injections in that area, you got too much acid going on from the food you're eating. There's other imbalances going on. You got me? So I always say we work from the root of the problem. Yeah,
because they have supplements. It's supplements you can take.
Yeah. They got real deep with it. It's very deep. It's gotten real deep, but it's also very unnatural. That's the concern. It becomes very unnatural. Yeah, there's ways in why certain things in your body are separated. Because there's levels of things, just like we talk about, you have levels of protection in certain parts of your body, like the blood-brain barrier, your blood, things that protect the system, the multiple levels of skin layers. That's for protection so that things can be filtered so they can't get directly into your blood. You got me? But when you bypass those things and go in there, you could be creating other problems. You're going out of balance. That's unnatural, unnatured. You got it? So be careful with that. I always tell people when we start to go back to the biblical principles, go back to the universal things of cleansing, eating the proper foods, things like that, usually the body corrects itself. You got it?
Right.
You gotta prove that God's system fails before you can go do something else. That's what I say.
Right. Okay. All right. Thanks, Doc. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good question.
All right. And we have, is that Galaxy A01?
A01, yes.
That's my phone, right? Is that
yes,
my phone?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What's your name? What's your name?
Margaret.
Margaret.
In Texas,
All right, Margaret.
Hey,
All right,
Margaret, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Great.
When you brush your teeth, how sometimes you get blood when you spit? Well, I get that sometimes, even when I'm not brushing my teeth. You have any clue what I need to do or not do?
Yeah, that's a little inflammation going there in the gums, and that has to do with a lot of the vitamin A, vitamin D, a lot of the different ones are going on. There's a deficiency there. So you basically want to make sure you start to do, number one, I would do oil pulling. Okay. If do you know about oil pulling?
Yes, I've done it, but I haven't continued it.
Okay, I would definitely increase that, but make sure it's unrefined oil. Got it? Can't be refined.
Okay.
And also, I would get a natural, organic mouthwash. Got it? Natural, organic mouthwash. Okay. And what kind of toothpaste do you use?
It's something from the health food store. It's like pomegranate and neem.
Okay, long as it's non-fluoride, you're good. Okay. And usually that, but also make sure you're hydrated properly. Things like the green drinks, those are things that you're keeping in order. But yes, rinses usually help to bring down inflammation in the gums. Now, let me give you some herbs that can help that also. So family, I might want to write these down. These are some of the different ones that I recommend because a lot of people have, sometimes with bleeding gums, sometimes overgrowth, of gums, the gingivitis, periodontal issues, all those things can be happening. All comes from inflammation. So here's some things that I recommend. I also recommend you can get, we talked about, believe it or not, cloves. Okay, you can get raw cloves. So you get the powder, cloves in powder, reduces inflammation. I'm going to tell you how to actually apply it in a second, but let me just go over the herbs, right? Coconut oil. Got it? Sesame oil. Got it? Turmeric. Golden seal. Tea tree oil. Those are the combinations of things that you can put, and you can make a mixture, put it right on your toothbrush and apply it directly to the gum. Sometimes you can even add like a little bit of like take a cotton ball, just make that concoction. You can put it in a plate, get the powder version of the herb, which is actually mix those all together, add a little bit of water for paste, use the cotton ball, and you can place it right under those areas and you can leave it in there. Got it? That also is good for issues with infections in the gums or infections in the tooth, root canals. Got it? So it helps to reduce inflammation and overgrowth of the gums because you don't want pyorrhea. Pyorrhea is not good.
No.
Pyorrhea deals with infection, starts to knock those teeth out there like pins from a bowling alley, knocking them out. And the teeth do not, it's very, very aggressive too. So you don't want to do that. Make sure it doesn't get to that level. So those are the things that I recommend. Big B, did you write those down?
Of course
Got
not.
them all? Of course not.
I didn't get them all.
Okay.
I got them.
You got them?
Got them all? You can post them in there.
Okay.
That's just off the top of the head. There are some of the things that you can do. But applying that, you can even take your finger and apply in those hard to get places in there. But make sure it's an extra soft brush. Extra soft brush. Got it? And also, I would scrub the tongue also because a lot of bacteria comes from the tongue. Got it? And you can tell by the breath. Got it? Sometimes people say, well, some people always have a little tart with their breath. But really, it's, it can be intestinal, but a lot of that is also bacteria that's in the mouth that stays in there that you're not doing it. So usually you got to probably brush at least twice a day. Got it? At least twice a day I would do that procedure. Got it?
Also, Uncle Harris mouthwash.
Who is that?
That's
Uncle
Patrick.
Harris.
Yeah.
Uncle Harris.
Uncle Harris. Yes.
Yeah, miracle mouthwash. Better got it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Pat. I got you, man. Yes, there's a lot of stuff out here, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you some of the things. But, like he said, there's a lot of, things that this is not the first time people are experiencing these things. You got to keep that mouth and the bacteria that's in the mouth and the tongue. A lot of that stuff cakes right on your tongue,
Right.
Because a lot of people eat so much processed foods. That's the perfect condition for yeast to build up on. And they got yeast all in the mouth.
And you
That's
got the
usually
tongue that
what's
turns
up.
all white in the back.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeast is the biggest problem. Yep.
One, I was asking about peroxide.
Peroxide, some people will do a peroxide
A
wash. Yeah, there is actually, matter of fact, Pollock Herbs has a good combination peroxide rinse for the mouth. So you can check with Pollock Herbs and Vitamin Center on Broad Street. He has an excellent combination of peroxide wash. I always say stick with the herbs first. That's actually, remember, you need a feeder and a fighter. That's only the fighter. You got it? So that's the antioxidant, the one that's going to destroy the bacteria, but still you need to build it up some also. So I'd say do both. That's why we stick with the herbs. Got it?
What are you about sinusitis, Dr. Ball? Sinusitis and rhinitis that causes me to have so much mucus in your throat. How can you get rid of that?
Yeah. Mucus issues. Number one, dietary. Stay off the ones we always talk about. Make sure no dairy products. Got it? No dairy products. We have to probe all the ones. No refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils. Got it? All those things you got to stay away from. Also, water hydration. You got to have your water's got to be spot on. Got it? No yogurt. No yogurt products. No dairy of any kind. Okay? Mucus issues tend to be, we can resolve them by raising the pH. If you raise the pH, now it stops the body from producing the mucus. Remember, the mucus is not a problem. The mucus is working on your behalf. That's the whole purpose of mucus. Mucus is the body producing the ability or the transient system for removing waste out of the body. Got it? If you didn't have mucus, you wouldn't be able to get this stuff out of you at all. So the excess amount of mucus that you're producing is the reason why the body's saying you're that toxic. Okay? So you got to increase your ability for expectorant herbs. Herbs that are expectorants are things like the mullein we talk about. We talk about the nettle. We talk about things like the yerba, the yarrow, things like the oregano oils. All those are expectorants. What are expectorants? Anybody remember what expectorants are? What are expectorants? I don't want everybody to answer at the same time because I can't hear everybody when everybody's speaking at the same time. What was that?
Well,
expectorants expect. They pull mucus off you. That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the things that people have, there's an old mucus problem that infects the mucous membranes called catarrh. And catarrh is one of those really bad ones that when it infects the mucus and then it causes sinusitis and all those different issues, with the sinus issues. And really, if you go back to it, it's really an infection. So mucus. So I would do with things like our anti-mucus, anti-inflammatory, things like the oregano oil is probably, if I had to put one high on the list for the sinus issues, it would be oregano oil. Extra strength is what I would do.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
And by the way, even though Nita says it's nasty, just thank her. She got all the herbs in the chat for us. So appreciate you,
go
girlfriend.
ahead, Nita.
Go
ahead, Nita. Thank you so much, Nita.
She's fingers tonight for us.
Fingers tonight.
Appreciate that.
Right.
Yes,
right. It is nasty. I'm an asthmatic. It's nasty, Dr. Paul.
I hear you, but guess what?
But it works.
It works.
You know what? Let me tell you this. It may seem nasty for this present time, and that's because you're fighting against the body's what it's used to receiving.
Yes.
You got it? So when you stay with this, I'm going to tell you, you're going to say, wow, this is not as bad as I thought it was. It's because you're turning the boat around. You got to turn the boat around. And sometimes it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. But guess what? After a while, you're going to say, wow, it doesn't bother me that much. And that just says that that's a sign of too much process in the diet. Got it? So bitter herbs are sweet. Who put that down there? Somebody put down there bitter herbs or what?
Bitter herbs are sweet to the stomach.
Yes.
Thank you, family.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
We're at 8:24, Dr. P.
All right. Where are we? 8:30?
8:20.
Okay. Yeah, Big B. B, you went mute on me. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Here I am.
Yeah. All right, let me go down the list here. Nitha, I'm going to ask you since you're doing fingers with us today. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you writing that stuff down.
Yes, indeed.
No problem. I got my pen and pad. I got to write stuff down.
Yes, absolutely.
Although I can remember everything without writing because I start taking Bacopa.
There you go. She got that Bacopa rolling.
All right, now take care of that.
My question is, I want your opinion, Dr. Paul, on this. What is it? The mellow cloning or whatever it is they're doing. I keep forgetting the word with the Regeneron that they do now through IV now. And I had a patient, a couple today that went, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you had COVID. You're supposed to have natural immunity. Why did y'all go and do the melatonin? Whatever, I forgot the term. Why did you do that?
Well, I think what they're doing, they're reaching for something to build the immune system because of the lack of understanding and knowledge they have about this natural thing. You know, people are going to run from what they don't know. They're going to go for whatever they know. But see, what happens is they're always looking for the quick bullet, the quick now, knock it out. I want something real quick, but that's not how it works. In order for holistic health happens holistically, that means you got to do something for everything. That's the only way the body understands. So, Regeneron, you got, a lot of things they're injecting into their systems right now. I mean, it's overwhelming. The different types of treatments that they're doing now. People are searching. People are trying to find something. But still, at the whole time, guys are sitting there saying, why don't y'all just do what I told you to do the first time?
Yeah.
Just pay attention. Just pay attention.
Y'all hard-headed. And that's really what, if anything, prove that the herbs don't work before you go do something else. That's what I'm saying. I can't understand why they're not even at least approaching this factor. That, hey, maybe we should look at this stuff that people are taking. People are running to this black seed oil. Let's look at this black seed oil.
It's easier.
They are doing it.
Yes.
All universities are studying all these herbs, even when I gave the example of like Palo d'Arco. Palo d'Arco is one of the number one studied around the world, and every university has come up and studied Palo d'Arco. That was when, you remember that movie called The Medicine Man with Sean Connery?
Yes.
It was a true story about the doctor that went to Brazil and he found this cure for cancer. Well, that was Palo d'Arco.
And it's the richest universities too that's studying it.
It's the richest ones in the world, but then they'll come back and say, yeah, it stopped the reproduction of the cancer cells. But at the end, we're not saying that it's going to be, maybe it is, maybe it is. We're going to keep you in that state of, we're not going to throw the pharmaceuticals under the bus because it's making money. That's it. This is the money. This is the money thing, y'all. So, what does that say to you? That says to you, if you want to get right, you got to have some life to give you life. That's it. Only life can bring you life. That's it. You've heard me say this a lot of times. Life begets life, as the Bible says. But if you eat death and you keep eating death, what do you think the body's going to give you? It's going to give you death. That's it. You cannot function with giving the body death. You have to be life, and that means, spirit, mind, and body. You got to feed the body life. So they get us by the taste. Everything tastes. Put sugar on top of it, and you don't want anything. You can put sugar on anything, and people will love it. And, salt. And the other one is oil. That's why we say stay away from refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils, because those are the toxic poisons in all the food right there. If you can master those three right there, you can pretty much knock any chronic condition if you want to, with a little exercise and good water. You got it? So it makes a big difference, y'all.
Okay. How many international units can vitamin D do we need to take?
I would say, remember, seasonal support for vitamin D. Usually we work on a system based on the seasons. So right now we're coming out of the 5,000 IUs, and we're moving into, right around October is where we move into 10,000. But like I said, usually right now, because we're not getting a lot of sunlight, because people are in because of COVID-19 or COVID-22 now, you don't get a lot of sun. So if you're not getting a lot of sun, you probably want to stay on that all year long, just right around the 10,000 mark. Now, vitamin D3 or D2, I recommend D2. Okay, because D2 tends to be a plant. It is a plant-based version. Got it? Comes from plant-based, whereas D3 is from lanolin, which is from sheep. Okay, and also essential oils. So if you have an issue with oils and processing oils, remember all oils that are in the body are processed in the liver. But if you already have an issue with cholesterol, you got a problem with oils. You got it? You got a problem with. So those with cholesterol, you got to watch that. You got to watch that. I would go with vitamin D2. Got it? Same numbers for D2 as D3 seasonal. Okay.
Yes, sir, for blood pressure. Adela says her husband had been taking blood pressure medicines for a long time.
Yeah, you know what? Blood pressure has a lot of things. You know, with the RM3A testing that we do, if there's one thing that I've come to understand is there's multiple solutions, or there's multiple things that can be causing blood pressure problems, but you got to find out through an assessment, and that's the only way we can do that. You know, we always know that stress is the big one. Got it? Stress is the big one. You know, the number 2 is this thing called endothelial. Endothelial is actually the vessels that are in the arteries and veins. That's why when they start to clot up, or the vessels is what sort of moves the blood through the bloodstream. Got it? But when they slow down and stop moving, clots up, pressure's going to go up. Got it? The other one is, of course, plaque buildup. Plaque buildup in the arteries and veins, of course, from the oils. So one of those you can pretty much look at can be a problem. Either stress, endothelial issues, or you're going to have issues with clotting. Got it? So, or the plaque buildup. Got it? So one of those 3 is usually where we start. The person has to go on a better choice diet. That's it. Better choice diet. Water's got to be right. I believe that what I'm going to eventually release, I'm going to release a book, and this is on the horizon right now. It's called basically something called, sort of throwing the title around a little bit, but it's going to deal with mastering these basic principles. Got it? Because if you master first the basic principles, then you can now start to move forward. But people have not even mastered some of the basic things that you have to do with your blood pressure, with sugar control, things like water. Those are some of your fundamentals. And once you can balance them, then you're going to see the change. I'm going to tell you, when people come back, and some people have gone through, and we put them on point, they come back and their numbers are incredible. Some people are pulling off of their medications. Their doctors are saying, well, what are you doing? We've never seen numbers like this. And you just now start to recognize you got control of this thing, but you've been breaking the rules. So that's what we do. We're going to bring you back to point so that you're not breaking the rules. So Big B, they need an assessment, really. They need an assessment. All right, let's see. I'm going to go up to the top here. I have Cinnamon Stevens. Cinnamon. Is that Cinnamon?
Cinnamon, you still there?
Oh, hello. Hi, Dr. Paul.
Hey, Cinnamon. How you doing?
Hey. Good. So I asked one question earlier. You kind of already answered it, but I'm going to ask 2 more questions. So recently I had food poisoning. So I'm just curious, is there anything like, because food poisoning, you never know when you can get it. If it ever happened again, is there anything you recommend that you can take in the while you're going through it to help relieve symptoms?
Well, it depends on what food poisoning. What food was it?
So I'm still trying to figure out what it was, but I believe it was a chicken sandwich that I had. It was like a grilled chicken.
Yeah. So when you're talking about things like meat, you're talking about bacteria, listeria, things like that. So you really, usually the symptoms of things like abdominal pains, you're dehydrated, you got headaches, diarrhea is the big one. Any of those symptoms at all?
Yeah, so that was what was shocking. I didn't have like a stomach pain. It was like coming from both ways. So it's diarrhea and then throwing up.
Yeah.
For 3 days, I was just
Yeah, so you got to look at different things. There are some, that's why people put spices. The spices in your spice rack?
Yeah.
That's why people put the spices on your foods. There's seasonings, right? Because they change. Anybody know why they call them seasonings? Anybody know? I mentioned this before. Y'all probably remember this one. Anybody remember seasonings? Why do they call it seasonings? Anybody?
The season of the year?
Hmm?
The season of the year?
Well, that would be, pretty much related to what the name, right? Right. But why?
Change the taste. Change.
Right. No, actually, what it means is that when you take these spices, which are herbs, right? They either do one of three things. They either speed you up, right? Increase the heat, slow you down, cool you off, or they balance you out. They change you like the seasons. That's it. That's where it comes in. That's where seasoning comes from. So there's certain seasonings that were used specifically so to make sure that you didn't get bacteria infections. That's because back in the days when people could not afford silverware, got it? That's why people had silverware. They had like the potters, home. They had what? They had wooden spoons. Wooden spoons, people who didn't have real silverware that use wooden spoon, wood has pores and it splits sometime. And then when you wash and water hits it and comes off, bacteria can get trapped in there. And then next thing you know, you start eating with that, you get an infection. So they started using seasonings to actually help this. And some of those things are the very ones that may be right in your cupboard right now. Y'all want to hear some of them? How about basil leaves?
Okay.
Basil. Yep. Basil is excellent for that. That's good for things like abdominal pains, but it has antibacterial properties that it actually fights. A lot of these are all fighting microorganisms that are in your intestines. That's what it's fighting. That's also where the garlic comes from. Not garlic salt. Don't mess with the garlic salt. Garlic powder. If you got to do raw garlic, you can do raw garlic also. Got it? Those another one. Another one would be the cumin family. The cumin. Or any of that family of the turmeric family. Got it? The turmeric. That has the properties that deal with, breaking down all kinds of microorganisms that are actually in the food. A lot of meat has already parasites in it. So they're anti-parasitic. Got it? So turmeric or curry, okay, or cumin. This thing called curcuminoids is the property that's the anti-inflammatory property that really cools down the intestines, which actually creates a bad environment for microorganisms to live in. It's called curcuminoids. So that part of that cumin is curcuminoids. And that's the anti-inflammatory properties that also cools down inflammation in your bones and your joints and your ligaments and your connective tissue and all those things. That's why turmeric is so good for pain. Got it? But it also gets good if you add a little bit of that on your food. You got it? Got your cinnamon? Hey,
Yeah.
cinnamon itself is good. See, your name itself is good. How about that?
That sounds cool.
Ain't that cool? Yeah. So you got a lot of good stuff out there. You just have to go to just the very herbs. I'll give you an example. What I use a lot, I do a lot of herbs on my fish or my stir fries. I use a lot of herbs. Some of the top ones I use would be basil. I use a lot of thyme. I use dill seeds. I'll even use bay leaves. Also, the curcuminoids. I'll use the cumin sometimes. The cloves. Those are a must in all my dishes. I make sure I do that. My wife, boy, she sit up there like this. What we having tonight? I said, you get comfortable for this. She's like, she in a restaurant. She like, like the napkins. She's sitting there just grubbing, boy. And I know
she knows what's up.
It keeps our intestines proper. You know what? No diarrhea issues. None of that stuff going on. Got it?
Gotcha.
All right, cinnamon. Hope that helps you there. But you look in your spice rack, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, we got
Yeah.
Kim. I got Kim on the line. Kim?
Hi, Dr. Paul.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you
Good.
so much for all the information.
Excellent.
Always bringing it 100%.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My question is, I get headaches, usually in the morning. And what I try to do right away is drink a lot of water because I figure I'm probably dehydrated. But it tends to just continue like throughout the day, just lingers. So what I also tried is an herb you had mentioned before, white willow.
Willow bark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, willow bark. Yeah, you have white willow bark.
It's
That's
called
correct.
white willow. Okay. But I tend to, I'm taking more of it. So I don't know
Well, I would
what
first,
else I should be
I would do
trying,
a,
maybe.
yeah, sure. I would first look at two things. Whenever headaches are just a direct sign of the body letting you know there's a deficiency somewhere, usually dehydration is number one. Water. Got it? It's always, even if you're taking herbs, the body's going to demand water to flush out the system. So water is number one on the list. You got to make sure you got the right water and at the right amounts, right? That's number one. Number two are nutrients. Everyone is nutrient deprived. So a lot of times, remember, you got to have a feeder and a fighter. That's why the hydrogen-based greens, land and sea, always work, and it will always bring you back. That's why we also use one of the highest, one of the quick things that we use for a lot of women when they are having like these little sharp headaches. They may be at work, and you know how you sitting in front of a screen at work, something like that, and you can't really grab a meal. I tell them to grab a bag of hemp seeds, and keep them close to you. Okay, raw hemp seeds. Raw hemp seeds are the highest protein, plant-based protein that you can get. And it's one of the highest, and it's very high in also omega-3, 6, and 9. It's more protein than meat. Got it? So it's very nutritional, and it can also deal with real deficiency with multi-deficiency with minerals if you're lacking them. And usually, let me tell you, some people will report back, doc, that really worked because I just need a little pick-me-up till I got home and ate or had my grain or I didn't have it. So always keep a little bag of like the hemp seeds with you. Hemp seeds are powerful, y'all. Powerful when it comes to nutritional protein, which is the complex carbohydrates. Got it? Which is real fuel. That's the real building blocks of the cell right there. Okay. All right, Kim. All right. Hopefully that helps you out. Okay. All right, Denise. I'm trying to go through the rest of the line here, Big B.
Yeah, I see you.
Real quick.
Denise.
Okay, so hi.
Y'all ain't gotta say real quick. Everybody say real quick.
And she's never quick, so don't start.
It don't
There's
have
a lot
to
of
be
people
quick.
waiting. Okay,
That's
as quickly
okay.
as I can.
No,
Okay.
no, you don't.
Okay,
We're just messing
I'm
with you.
not going nowhere. Yeah.
Okay, so you were talking about the hemp seeds. So are hemp seeds, being that you said that, I'm looking at my thing, do they have more protein than chia seeds?
Yes, I would say yes. Though chia seeds do have a lot, though. Chia seeds are very high also. They're very strong. Both are very good for morning. Like if you want to add to your smoothies in the morning, they're good roughage. They're also good for digestion and helping you move the lymphatic system, which is the toxins in the body. So yes, they're good scrubs, or we call roughage in the body.
Okay, next, because every time you say something, it brings up a question. This is a basil plant, right?
I brought up a tree this time.
No, this is basil that I grew from the seed. I have like 5 basil plants on my windowsill. They're kind of out of control. What am I going to do with all this basil besides make?
Well, you got a lot of people on this
In
line
this
right
line,
now.
hey,
What,
get yourself a PO box number, send the orders in.
This is the family tree, and you
Help the rest of the family.
You may be talking to just the right folks. See, basil is so good because it has the ability to digest, and properly. If you start to just take a basil, you can take a basil tea in the evening and a basil tea in the morning, and it helps you in your digestion in preparation for the food that's coming. You got it? So a basil tea. You're going to steep one of those leaves. Take one of those leaves, right? And you just steep it in some hot water 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. Or you can eat it raw just like that. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead and do your thing. She's just going to eat it raw just like that.
It is raw. It's good raw, people.
Yes.
For all of you who like pesto, I make raw pesto.
Okay. Excellent.
Last question. Last week you talked about black gram, horse gram, and some other stuff, but I don't know if I got the right type of beans. I went to the Indian store. Is this the right type?
You're right. I got to see the back. What does it say on the back?
On the back it says black mattepe beans, MATPE.
Yeah, that is in the same family. Yeah, see, they may have a different name coming from India. Okay, but that's the black bean. That's the black bean or the gram. How much protein do they have? If it's around 20 to 25, then that's definitely.
Well, it's fiber. Let's see. You said protein.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any protein on here. Oh, protein is 11 grams.
11 grams. So yeah, that's a variation of the black, but it's not as high.
Potassium 10.
Yeah, potassium
Iron
is
15.
right. But when they said 11,
whoever said that, I still told them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just have one question for you again. Back with the protein, how much per serving are they telling you?
Serving 1/4 cup.
1/4 of a cup. So see what I mean? So 1 full cup is over 20.
No, 1/4.
1/4 cup. Like
That's
a
what
quarter
I mean.
cup.
Serving.
Right.
Per serve.
A quarter of a cup. Right.
Right.
So if you have a full cup, how much would you have as far as protein? So you take that protein number and you times it 4 times. And what would you get?
Okay.
That's about 40 grams. That's high. That's actually good. That's in the family. Yep. That's a good one.
But then okay, so 170 times 4, that's not too many calories?
No. Remember, this is strictly organic, and this is complex carbohydrates. Different, not to be dealing with things that are not complex carbohydrates, which is not energy food at all. That's waste. Got it? So that's the difference. This is real energy right here. This is real energy food, building blocks for the cells. So that's why I was asking per serving. So a quarter of a cup is how much? You said 11. How much protein?
Shoot, I'm forgetting that. 11 grams.
11. So you 11 times 4 is what?
44.
44.
Yeah, that's it. That's a full cup.
Okay.
And usually when you're making a meal, you're using around a full cup sometimes. Got it? Y'all feel what she's saying over there?
Cool.
Y'all got it? All right.
Denise, type that in because some folk are asking what that is. Type that in.
Yeah, and also put down and type in where you got it from. Okay, we always want to be a resource for folks also.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go to the next one. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate you. We're going to close out, and we're coming up to our time frame when we got to shut down. But
Yes, sir,
we got
buddy.
Shakara.
Yep.
Shakara.
Hi, this is actually her husband. My name is Derek.
Hey, Derek. How are you, man?
How you doing, Derek?
Good. I have 2 questions. So about the vitamin D, I have vitamin D3, but it has lecithin in it. Or lecithin, Lichen. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's just a variation of, you mean lecithin?
No, not lecithin. Lichen.
Okay, so yeah, again, it's okay. Now, long as it's no process with it, right? What's the brand? What's the brand that you have?
I got it from Amazon. Man.
Give me the brand. Maybe I can look it up for you.
I'm going to tell you
real quick. And only because this is good resources. You can also do the liquid vitamin D. There's one that's by a company called Blue Bonnet. And Blue Bonnet. Yeah, that's one. That's They have both vitamin D2 and D3.
Okay, so the brand is a Naturello.
Natural,
like nature,
what is
nature, and then LO.
Nature LO?
Yeah.
Nature LO is all one word, or is it
Yeah.
separated? Nature LO, and that's vitamin D. Is it vitamin D2 or D3?
D3.
D3?
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can look that up for you. Okay, does it
LICHEN, yes,
is it in like a
it's green.
It's a green bottle?
It's a green bottle, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's a pretty good one. That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a good one. Yep.
Cool. And my second question is, where can we find soursop?
And it depends on what form you're looking at.
Like the whole plant.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. You go to those stores that are, I find it a lot in some of the Chinese markets.
Asian stores.
The Asian stores. Yes, the Korean markets. I just take a stroll through there. I would say, family, go to the, those different places. Believe it or not, some of the Jamaican stores too. Don't just. It's the cultural stores that will recognize what soursop is. But
the Jamaican stores don't have it as much.
They don't have it as much, right? But
the
still,
Asian stores have it both frozen, and they also have the actual fruit frozen as well.
Right. So what's happening is, the very point we're making though is that the cultural stores are going to only recognize that. You're not going to see that in your normal stores.
Right.
Got it? You got to go to a cultural because it is from a cultural people that understand what really soursop does, and it's a cancer fighter. That's another one that people have studied for. These universities have studied soursop, and they try to ignore it. But let me tell you, people get it together after they take it. Got it? And and remember, it's a fruit, so it's autonomous. So you don't have to take a whole lot of stuff with it. It's very high in the vitamin C. So just understand how to take it. Got it? There's also, you can buy the soursop in liquid forms. I've seen it in liquid forms. Okay, so you can take it in that also. A lot of the herbal stores do carry the liquid form.
Okay.
You get you can get it in Florida. It's plentiful in Florida. Actually, they have it in.
Hey, let me tell you.
As well.
I was in Brooklyn. I was in Brooklyn one day, just walking around in Brooklyn, and went through one of their stores, just hanging out in Brooklyn, and they had it, big old soursop, just sitting up there, and people grabbing it. I was like, "Do y'all know what this is?" They were like, "What is it?" That's soursop. So it just go to the cultural markets. That's what I would recommend. Got it?
Dr. Paul, what about the soursop leaves to make tea?
Yes, every part of the tree is for the healing of the nations. Remember, you can use every part of the tree. Remember, the leaves are only going to be a demonstration of the energy, the last of the energy. So the leaves represents the last of the energy. So the stems all the way out to the leaves, for the roots to the actual, stem to the fruit itself, all the way out to the leaves. Every part of the tree.
Bitters.
Yep, everything is good for the healing of the nations. Got it?
Excuse me, Dr. Paul. I just like to say there's a market at 11 in Washington Avenue in Philadelphia.
Go ahead now. There you go. There y'all got it right there. Thank you, Denise. Thank you. See, that's why you need a family tree. That's why you need a family tree, because somebody gonna know something. Got it? Stay connected. Got it? Say that again, Denise. 11th and what?
Washington.
11th in Washington.
Washington Avenue.
Down the market. Washington
South
Avenue.
Philadelphia. Yes.
Yep. You got the South Philly markets. Yep. All right. Good stuff. Shakira, is that answer your question?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry. That wasn't Shakira. That was what was the brother's name?
My name is Ted.
Ted. All right, Ted. I'm sorry.
My wife's account.
All right. I'm sorry.
Look, Dr. Paul.
Yes.
There you go. This is soursop in the bottle.
There you go.
And here's soursop tea leaves.
There you go. Every part of it, the tree is for the healing of the nations. How many times we gonna keep saying that, y'all? Trust God. This guy's got this system down, y'all. You can't,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
can't
sir.
beat God in his own game. Come on, y'all. Come on.
That's
Thank you, Karam. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Yes.
That's well, I found mustardine grapes at Green and Harvey.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
They were
yeah, tell them where they can get it now. Now with seeds, right?
Yes. It's ANN produce.
Spell the great four of them.
And I don't, you told us about it, but I didn't get the spelling right. The mustardine.
Yeah, master. Right. Yeah. Hold up. Let me. Now the reason why I really wanted to really focus with this particular one was because of what it does with things like purifying water. Did you know that the muscadine, Muscadine, that's what it's spelled, Muscadine. They have this thing. What was amazing about this grape is that when they started to, you know how when you run spigot water, after a while you run spigot water, you start smelling that chlorine coming out of there. You know how you smell the heavy chlorine? Well, we know that's bad. Chlorine does dissipate after you just let it sit out for a while. But they were using immediately when you take the muscadine, you can actually literally take the seeds of that and stir that right in the water and it kills the chlorine instantly. Powerful. So if you feel that you've been exposed to some chlorine or something, that's also a good detox for chlorine. You got it?
Yes, and all the seeds that I get out of them, I'm saving them so I can plant some.
Save those seeds. Yes, save those seeds. Yes, absolutely.
How much do they cost? They were like $4 for. I guess that was. It was. I guess it was about 2 pounds, maybe. Maybe.
Hey, you can go online and get everything. You can get pretty much anything of seeds if you go online and just search it, and you can get those seeds mailed to you. Now, when you buy seeds, remember you want non-genetically modified seeds, non-GMO seeds. Usually, when they ship them, they're in like a sort of aluminum type, like it's not aluminum foil, but it's actually that kind of like material that helps to keep them and preserve them. It's a special preservative packaging for seeds. Okay, so I would definitely recommend that. Just go online and you can get them. All right. We got May. I got May, and then I got Michelle, and then I think we're out of time. Go ahead, May.
Yes, Dr. Paul. How are you?
All right.
I have a quick question. Hello, Mr. Bill.
How are you? All right.
I'm fine. I just want to I got one question. When it comes to the liver, no, not the liver, the lungs, and a blood clot is in the lung. Now, I know you said that, you cleanse the blood with and is there anything other than that you could, other than what you've already told us that we could do as far as helping my son, he's a police officer, and he got in a car accident, which caused that, I guess.
Yeah, it probably broke through. Same thing happened with a lot of people. They have an accident and it breaks through, and then that clot travels. And that was actually what happened to my wife also. You remember I told you my wife's situation when she was in a car accident, and from that, about a day or two later, clot traveled. So what I recommend goes back to declotting, things that declot. The quickest that I always will default to would be that red onion, the red onion tea that we talk about. Yes. There's many stories, and I can't tell you how many stories that come back to me, family, about people who took the red onion tea and it broke it up into, literally disperses it like particulates, like just comes right out of the body. Even to the point where I had one patient that's basically said, you know what? I went to the doctor and they just said it was just debris, just broken all up, and it was apparently a clot traveling to her lung, but it was broken up before it could get there. And so what does that mean? She said I was taking a lot of that red onion. So that's what I would do directly any of the allium family, which means that would be garlic also.
Raw garlic.
Yep, raw garlic or the red onion or any of the onion. You can just do any of the onion. If you can't get the red onion, don't worry about it. Just get an onion. Just make sure it's organic. Okay, and that's going to clean the blood. That's the quickest way we know that can actually to scrub those arteries and veins. Is he on high blood pressure medicine?
No, he's not.
Okay, has he ever had high blood pressure at all before?
Not to my knowledge.
What about cholesterol issues?
Nope, not that I know of. He's been pretty much healthy. He's 30 something years old, 33.
Yeah, but it was there somewhere. So there's definitely some cholesterol issues there. He may not have been detected, but he's really got to check that because that's going back to the oils. Pull them off all oils. Would not mess with no oils at all.
Okay. And last question is this. Now, like I said, he's a police officer, and which one of my concerns is because I've been trying to help them kind of, I've been pulling them under my tree. So,
I like that. I like that, big baby.
Yes, they pull them under her tree. That's what's
pull
up.
somebody under your tree.
So my question is because my son, two of my sons are both in the security. Well, my one's security and the other one's a police officer. And my concerns is, I know my youngest boy, he has already, and I tried to tell him about this COVID test. thing, don't take it, but his job's requiring that. And so he took the first one, but, and he lives here with me. So I'm about to, I don't know how, I want to protect myself. And I'm like, I'm not scared, but that feeling of, oh my God, he's coming in the house, type feeling be hitting me.
Yeah. I think what you're alluding to is the shedding issues that people are talking about, and that's understood. But remember, even if it's shedding, even if there's some shedding issues, and that means that you couldn't go anywhere if you really had to worry about that, because people stocking your food when you go to the market, your clothes, wherever you go, you would have to do that. So that's why the only thing you can do is what can you do? Build your immune system. You got it? That's it. It comes back to it every time. Every time we try to get off at this point, we come right back to a biblical principle again. Keep yourself strong. Remember, a lot of that stuff comes into an already invaded system that's already sick. But if you're not sick and you already build yourself up, then you should be fine. You're good. You're protected. A lot of what's happening to a lot of folks that are getting, these symptoms and also the problems with being diagnosed as, COVID, have a lot of already compromised situations. You got it? So already high blood pressure, got it, dietary issues, don't drink water, all of the constant things that we talk about all the time. So if you checkpoint all those points and stay on your game, you already increase your chances. Remember, the document comes out even from all of the medical journals. It comes out. It's before they even started giving the first person the first hokey pokey, right?
Yes.
They said that if you are in a certain age, all the way up to 75 years old or older, 85, I think they were going up to, it's like 85. If you have a good immune system, you're like 99 percentile or 98 percentile can recover from it.
Yes.
So people are like, wait a minute, what happened to that data? What happened to it? So
Dr. Paul, at the beginning of this call, you said that you were going to give us the seasonal support that we need because of the season we're moving into.
Right.
Can you do that before?
Sure, I did.
Please?
I did that. It was the vitamin D. When we talked about the vitamin D, seasonal support for the vitamin D, that's exactly what it was. And of course, with the colon cleanse and the parasite, I do recommend. We should be finished up with the parasite cleanse. We're going into another change of seasons. So you should have ended probably the parasite about 3 or 4 weeks ago, which is about sometime in August. You should have been early August. Now we pick it up, start moving the course back into a colon cleanse again. We try to do it every change of seasons. So this is the time you should be getting your colon cleanses, family. All right. So colon cleanse, keep it moving. colon cleanse followed by a parasite cleanse. And then, of course, build the immune system with the green drinks. And also staying off of those top 10 toxic foods we always talk about. All right?
And Dr. Paul, I'm not trying to rush you, but buddy, it's starting to sound crazy outside my house.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to get off right now. I want to thank
the wind
everyone.
is blowing, the rain is everywhere.
Big B, it's time to sign off. We this with this time.
Yeah, I don't want to get kicked off.
We all of a sudden you go dark. We're going to know what's going on.
Yes,
over there.
indeed.
All right, Big B, sign us out, buddy.
Oh, of course, man. Let's real quick, guys. As always, we'll make sure that you always each week just bring your friends and neighbor and Karen, your enemies too. So there. Okay.
What you say?
I said, bring your enemies to the tree next week too.
Okay.
It's important. And of course, by the way, remember, in order to get a copy of tonight's chat, make sure you send me an email to meccavideo@gmail.com. That's MECCAVIDEO@gmail.com. Okay. And indeed, if you want to make sure that we will appreciate, of course, your continued support by sharing with us here at $ Dr. Paul Hop, or through the Zelle by utilizing the Mecca Video at Comcast.net, or we always have a P.O. Box now, guys. That's 191, okay, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, 08062. Hey, keep it coming, guys, so we can keep it rolling right back to you each and every week right here on the Green Hour. Not me, the Green Hour, the Family Trade.
All right, Big B.
Yes, sir,
Thank you,
buddy.
buddy. I appreciate you, man. Let's give Big B a hand over there.
What's up, guys? We're loving it.
Right. Thank you, Big B.
Yes, man, always.
We say thank you so much for all those that chimed in today. Great questions tonight, y'all.
Yes, indeed.
That you take the information, and the only thing that I charge you with is the truth. So that means you got to tell somebody. Got it? Y'all raise your right hand. I promise. Go tell somebody. Especially my family.
Go tell somebody.
All right. I'm going to let y'all go now. I appreciate y'all. Check your basements. Make sure there's no water going on.
Yes, sir. Woo! Lightning.
Make sure no lightning and nothing's going on. And don't stay up too late, because Big B had us out late tonight, didn't he?
Yeah, man. I'm getting out here before I get blown out the window.
God bless y'all. God keep y'all.
All right.
And remember, if you're breathing,
you got a shot.
Got a shot.
All right. Bless everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Y'all can dance it out if y'all want to.
Thank you.
Look,
all right. Good night.
Lightning about to get me. I almost still got to dance on. Hey.
Bill put a dance right off.
Happy anniversary, Dr. Paul.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right. Good night, Frida. Yeah.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, John Boy. Good night, LL.
Hi, Becky Sue.
Hi, Sharon.
Good night. All right, guys. See ya. Have a great
All right.
one.
God bless
See
y'all.
ya. All right.
Thank you for tuning in to the Family Tree. All right.
The tree is grounded. The tree is grounded.
This tree is grounded. I like that one. Invite somebody on your tree next week, all right?
All right.
Happy anniversary, Dr. Paul.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yes, give Lisa a hug.
All right, we'll do. Hey, look, I'll tell y'all, my little doggy growing.
He's so cute.
He is like, well, I tell you, we were laughing because he will try to gnaw on everything that hit the ground.
You give your doggy the green drink?
Huh?
You give him the green drink?
Absolutely. You know it. That's why he's so fast. He walking around looking like a little, like this. Got a little squawk too.
Got a swag. Got some swag going on. I know that's right, boy.
All right, family. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. And we'll see you next week. All right, Saturday morning and also Sunday afternoon for the Green Hour. We'll see you then. All right.
Stay hardcore. Stay hardcore.
Stay hardcore. That's right.